All right, so we're going to be talking about relating the unit rate to a slope. So, rate of comparison for two quantities that have different units, such as like miles and hours, is called a unit rate. How many miles per 1 hour? Now, the reason it's called unit rate, we should probably jot this down somewhere in our book. When we say unit, we really mean one. So, a unit rate is like $15 per 1 hour. 35 gallons per 1 gallon, or 35 miles per 1 gallon. Does that make sense? 35 miles per 1 hour. Okay. Those are called unit rates. And unit rates in which the second quantity, the unit is one. Okay. So it's per one, whatever. So a storm is raging on Misty Mountain. The graph shows the constant rate of snow level on the mountain. Find the slope from the point 1 comma 2. So we go over 1. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. So 1 comma 2 is this one. You should be writing this down in your book. And 5 comma 10. Now the cool thing, there's a couple of ways you could do this. One way is to calculate it. So if we say the change in y over the change in x. And that formula is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 all over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Well, label this as x sub 1, or well, we'll label that as x sub 2, y sub 2, and this is x sub 1, y sub 1. So that means I'm going to say 10 minus 2 all over 5 minus 1. What's 10 minus 2? 8. What is 5 minus 1? 4. What's 8 over 4? 2. We'll just say 2 over 1. So that means find the unit rate of snowfall in inches per hour. 2 inches per 1 hour. So over here, this would be inches, and this would be hours. How do I know that? Well, the x-axis. Another thing I want you guys to jot down in your book somewhere, Mr. Adams is going to show you guys some notation. This is called delta notation. This is the Greek letter for delta. It's what our capital D is based on. And delta just means change. So this is pronounced change in y, and this is pronounced, so if I say delta y, that just means change in y. And delta x means change in x. We're going to do this so much that you'll memorize it by the end of the school year. All right, so part B, we did part B. Part C says, compare the slope of the graph and the unit rate and the snow level. What do you notice? They're the same, right? So we technically calculated the change. So basically they're the same. And then D says, which unique point on this graph gives you the slope of the graph and the unit rate? Well, that's when x equals 1. So the unique one is 1 comma 2, because x equals 1 and y equals 2. So my slope, which is equal to delta y over delta x, is equal to my y value, 2 over 1, which is 2 inches per 1 hour. Okay? So usually when x equals 1 is how you can figure that out. So if you look for x equals 1, whatever the corresponding, if it is a constant rate of change. Now, constant rate of change means that it goes through the origin. This only works if it goes through the origin. Okay? So it has to have, well, it has to be a proportional constant. It has to look like our equation would have to look like this: y equals k times x. Right? Can we move on to the next thing?